if you're a mother who is experiencing a lot of pain, headaches when you go to stand up and you've had an epidural, it may very likely be a spinal leak. So I was so upset every single time that doctor came in. He asked me every single time, do you want an epidural? Do you want an epidural? Do you want an epidural? That is exactly why I put it on my birth plan. Do not ask me for an epidural, because when you are out of your mind, crazy in pain, you would have the janitor come in and help you if he could. I mean, no one can help you. So you're very delirious. I did not want to be asked because I knew I would cave. I did cave. And it's so pointless because I was at 8 centimeters when they gave me the epidural, and 5 minutes later, Hannah was born. Hi there, and welcome to Baby 101. My name is Danielle. I'm a mother of 6 children. I've breastfed all of them. I've struggled with breastfeeding with some, and my last 2 babies just went perfectly. I can look back in hindsight, things that I did wrong, but I am here to bless you with all things breastfeeding. If that is something that interests you and you can connect with, please like and subscribe to this video so that you never miss when a video goes live. Flash forward 3 years later, I remember where I was, what I was doing. It was a hot summer's day. I have 3 toddlers running around. I'm pregnant with baby number 4. And I went to yell, like we mothers do, right? But it was harvest season, and so there were some trucks going by on the gravel road. And so I go to yell at my kids because they're just whipping by, and I didn't want them playing that close to the road. And instantly my head just shattered. And flash forward to when we found out what this all was. I had a spinal leak from that epidural that I had 3 years ago. Before that, basically what a spinal leak is there's a leak in your spine where all the fluid is. So your spine goes like this, right? I mean, I'm not the best at giving analogies. I don't really know the anatomy and the biology all that well, but your spine, right? Well, there's a hole in there, and there's fluid inside your spine. And this is a telltale sign that it is a spinal leak, is when you go to stand up, your head just goes off the charts. Now, you can heal it all on your own. You have to basically lay down all the time, and basically your body will eventually heal it. Something that can help is drinking Coke, because it's really high in caffeine. I'm not exactly sure why. I will find that information and put it right here. Why Coke in particular. It's nothing else, but it's Coke in particular. Before I knew what was going on, I had gone to the chiropractor. I ended up going to see a specialist for brain things, right? Like a brain specialist. And he was the one who detected that it was a spinal leak. So the solution is to lay low and rest, but it will take a very, very long time. But anyways, the medical solution, if you don't have that extensive time, is to get a blood patch. It's so crazy because you get the spinal leak because of a spinal, which is what an epidural is. But the solution is to get a spinal. And so basically what they did is they drew blood out of my arm, had me like lay over like this. And I was so upset because they wouldn't let my husband be in there. And I have a lot of like anxiety and a lot of trauma with being in hospitals by myself, and he couldn't be in there with me. It was just terrible. But basically they basically go in and they inject that blood from your arm into your spine, and the blood finds the hole and makes a patch, and that's why they call it a blood patch. And then there's still some healing. You have to like really lay low, and there's healing. So basically it like creates like a scab, it covers it and it seals it, and then the levels can like readjust and things like this. But I was just so upset. I call that negligence, where if it's on someone's birth plan, do not ask me for an epidural. And then they just keep asking. Now, you know what? I have nothing against women who choose to do that. My sister did that. I know lots of people who've done that. Believe me, when you're in the middle of labor, I've had Hannah, she was a natural birth too, right up until an 8. So I've had 3 labors that were pretty natural. Like I said, Hannah, they talked me into it right at the end. So maybe 2 full ones I've had. But to be honest, when you're in the middle of that kind of pain, it's like you don't ask a woman those kinds of questions because you will literally do anything. And then, your husband's there and he's like, you know, doesn't know what to do and doesn't like to see you in pain and all this. And so we went through with it. But it's just so crazy that it was 3 years later. And I think if you do some reading up on it, they do say that that there are risks and that it doesn't necessarily happen right after having an epidural. I just wanted to share my epidural story here and just the trauma of having a spinal leak. I had 3 small toddlers at the time. My husband had to take off all this work. He had just started a new job, so it really didn't look good. We were right in the middle of moving, and it was like the last thing that we needed. But if you're a mother who is experiencing a lot of pain, headaches when you go to stand up and you've had an epidural, it may very likely be a spinal leak. If you got 1 or 2 things out of this video, consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, bye for now.